Our third presentation is entitled Jurassic Times, Jurassic Measures, Our Biblical Duty to Resurrect Extinct Species. Please welcome Sam Alfsen.
In the year 2000, the last Pyrenean ibex, named Cecilia, went extinct. In 2003, scientists did the work of science fiction and resurrected the extinct. They brought back to life a new Pyrenean ibex. And now, almost 2 decades later, scientists are trying to fully resurrect other extinct species, like woolly mammoths, dodo birds, and Tasmanian tigers. Universities like UC Santa Cruz and Harvard have ongoing projects to reanimate life. And with 20 years of research since the death of Cecilia, the scientific dream is coming close to fruition. So now, you're probably wondering what exactly de-extinction is. De-extinction is the process of resurrecting extinct species through genetic engineering, cloning, or backbreeding. Today, I will focus on genetic engineering because it is the process being explored by the vast majority of scientists. Scientists will use CRISPR to genetically modify the Asian elephant. CRISPR is essentially a pair of fancy genetic scissors that will splice and dice and alter the genome of the Asian elephant so that it becomes a woolly mammoth. But what does this mean for Christianity? Well, I argue that even though tampering with God's creation is often considered to be playing God, it is our biblical duty to resurrect extinct species, because we were put on this planet to be stewards of it, and all extinctions that occurred after the fall are a direct consequence of the fall. If de-extinction will bring good to an environment and humanity as a whole, then it is something that must be done. Of course, we all have seen Jurassic Park. We all know how it ends. In death, destruction, permanent disarray of ecosystems. So we must ask the question, is this safe? In short, as far as human health is concerned, this is safe because through genetic engineering, scientists cannot resurrect extinct pathogens or diseases that lived within extinct animals. They are also not going to resurrect any species that will cause direct harm to human life. On the other hand, some might argue that the resurrection of extinct species that have been absent from an ecosystem for hundreds, if not thousands of years, will be detrimental to that environment, and other species will not be able to survive in this new ecosystem at all. For a multitude of reasons, I would disagree. In fact, resurrecting extinct species can help restore environments to their former glory. For example, scientists theorize that the resurrection of the woolly mammoth in the Siberian tundra could help keep Arctic temperatures down year-round, meaning that if we reinsert the mammoth into the tundra, not only will we be resurrecting that ecosystem, there's a significant chance that they will help us combat climate change. To support this, we can look at a famous historical case. In the early 1900s, the government removed all the wolves from Yellowstone because they kept killing farm animals. This caused a huge uproar in the ecosystem. The population of elk grew out of control, and the trees and grasses these elk fed on started to disappear, causing erosion of riverbanks and a decline in the beaver population. In 1995, when the wolves were reintroduced, everything changed for the better. The trees and grasses started coming back, the population of elk was under control, and the rivers started to flow naturally again when the beavers returned. Although not all species will have as large an effect on their environment as the wolves from Yellowstone, we can translate this to de-extinction and reintroduction projects. We can see when animals are unnaturally removed from their environment, it causes imbalance to that ecosystem. And although the ecosystem will not be completely destroyed. It is most healthy and productive when that balance is restored. Another important question that we must consider is, why is this the Christian's duty to pursue this science? Well, we can look to the Bible, particularly Genesis. When God first makes man, he gives us dominion over the earth, to use its resources and to protect and steward his creation. Pre-fall, man was provided for in the garden by God, but after the fall, man had to fend for himself. He had to hunt to survive and cut down forests for shelter. This is man's responsibility because we are the primary cause of extinction. Furthermore, this is the Christian's responsibility because nature's purpose is to point man to God. We can see this when we look at the book of Job, when it says, "Ask the beasts, and they will teach you, the birds of the heavens, and they will tell you." We can see that nature doesn't just help us understand God, but we can bring people to faith through nature. De-extinction has far-reaching effects, from the ecological to the spiritual. We can no longer think short-sightedly. We must look to the future, because if we don't, we may not have a future to look on to. De-extinction is not a complete solution. It is just one of many that will work hand in hand with other projects and protections to help preserve this God-given earth. This is something we must pursue, Christians and scientists alike. We have a chance to make a resounding difference. This is how we do it. This is how we give back. Thank you.